Walter, can you tell me about some of the paintings that are on display here? Right?
Large. These are two large pastels. I'm told that these, I didn't realise that my daughter found these came from Claire O'Brien's garden. You know, the O'Brien's, Emin's mother. This one is nailed out my window, one of my windows, my small rooms. That's roses in the same window, and that's the shed there, you see. In this case, the shed is here, further back. So,
but Walter, you worked in pastel for those ones, right?
I do, pastel, I do.
Right. But was pastel your favourite medium? Or
No, you see, oil colours are much handier. You have a box, you have everything around you. In pastel, you have a huge box of chalks. You're bending down half the day, have fistful of them. Do you know what I mean? I can't bring along a lot of equipment be out in the gardens or anywhere. So that's a garden now with the church's fiddle behind it, and these are the apple blossoms. Yeah.
And they're oil.
Oil, oh yeah, that's another oil. There's
that's
spring. That's springtime. The Youghal town wall.
That's the Youghal town wall.
That's right. This is my wife. Dead 10 years in our garden outside that window. There's the window I took them from. You see?
Right.
Reading a book, the roses and all that.
Can you tell me about that painting, Walter?
It's one of the very few figure paintings here.
Right.
There are a few. There's another two in the town hall, but I kept it because of family interest, you know. And there's all blossoms too. There, I couldn't say any more about that really, my dear wife. Right. So apple blossoms in my garden. When the apples were small, you could see up the river. Now they're so big, I can't see up the river. There's all sorts of growth there.
Right.
That's a lovely looking west. And I like that painting a lot.
And they're oils?
They are. Now there's two watercolours here. I use them too. They work very fast and quick and dry in warm weather. And winter time when they plough the fields. See? And that's the tulic there, coming in. That's up in the Bright Valley, up over Tallow, in the autumn with the ripe fields of grain.
There are a lot of landscapes, outdoor landscapes.
That's
my
main interest
of yours? They're all Youghal, East Cork and West
They're all
Waterford
Youghal.
Right.
Two more here, Youghal.
Right.
Look.
Okay then.
That's over there. Everyone see that over the bridge. That's over the bridge. Look at the Waterford side, looking that way up the river. See?
Again, that's oil there.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Right. And this is that's the pool or lake over at the ferry point that fills up with rainwater. And I was there in the morning, you see, with the eastern sun is catching all the trees, and there's the shadows there, tells you that.
Right. Walter, do you sketch? You go outdoors, you sketch them outdoors. Do you finish them then outdoors, or do you bring them home to your studio? And
no, I don't go in the studio, except maybe finish parts that I didn't finish out there, like that. Look, that was never. At Salah looking at Mulana's Abbey.
Walter, who would have influenced you in your style of painting?
The whole Irish landscape group, yeah, from the 1850s onwards. Particularly a man I knew in Connemara called Charles Lamb, who was a very good portrait painter and landscape painter. He was a great influence on me, altogether. So, and I was learning from other people, going to Paris and going to places like London, seeing beautiful paintings by professionals who educated me. Like here now, I was go up to the woods at Adsala, the wood road, go up there, climb up for bluebells in May, just before the trees finally cut out everything, the light's getting through. So I did a lot of those.
How recent are those paintings?
That's about 15 years old.
Right.
Around. That's recent. That's only about 2 years old. Right. That's up Nardmore, looking north at Mount Stewart. So. That's the bottom of Arsala in the evening, just catching the light, the sun setting. And that's Ballinatray Woods. That's looking across from this place, halfway up. Now all the trees are grown, you can't see anything. That's about 18 years ago. Ballinatray House and all the woods in the evening. Now that's over at Goat Island, going down to Goat Island, Wheatfield or probably Barley. all painted quickly on the spot. I did a whole series of those then of Goat Island, a whole lot of them. One of them was in the Limerick Gallery, and I sold them at a time, maybe 7 or 8 or 10 of them. So it's my record, and that's for the lime kill.
Walter, you said that your influence was from the Irish landscape artist around the 1850.
1850 to 1950.
So you were learning from that when you were going to art college?
Going where?
When you were going to art college, you were influenced by all these guys?
No, there was not much painting in the art college. It was all drawing or design or modelling with clay or doing metal work or getting a general education. But I had a gift for out of doors always. Right. But I didn't get much time for that. There was no time for that except still lifes, which were over here. I'll show you in a minute.
Right.
Yeah.
But when you were young, when you started painting, when you were young, were the sketches, or were you working with colours or pastels?
I was working with an old master in Clonmel. He gave me lessons when I was 13, and he'd come from the National College of then what they call the Metropolitan College. He'd been taught by Arpin, so he grounded me. He was very young, and that was a great help to me.
And what was his name?
Dick Long. Yeah. He knew the Pierce brothers, and he knew all. He was a Dublin man.
And you were only 13 years of age then, and then you had a love for the art after that.
Well, I got fulfilled my wish, and he painted alongside me outdoors, and we came over and back, about mixtures and everything. He was marvellous help to me. Right. Wonderful. So and I learned from him. So
we were down at Goat Island here.
Yeah.
Is that a particular favourite then, the West Waterford?
The Goat Island, yeah. Well, that's now the tide you see coming out, and the last tide is still dribbling out.
Right.
So that's why I was in the reflection and the cliffs.
Right.
That's, as you know, you got me a set of lovely photographs you took. You got me the other day of Moonman Hill, looking down, and that was early in the year where there's alder blossom. Now they're all gone because the council took all them away. I couldn't paint that anymore, that part of it. But this intrigues me, all that, looking away in the distance. Youghal is a very beautiful town because of all the hills. That's our more in the evening, done very fast. That's the kind of board it was painted on. So I left it. I had to do it quickly. I didn't want to be missing it afterwards.
Is there a name for that style of art, Walter? When you
landscape painting, plein air, the French call it, plein air, out the doors, yeah. They started up that. A fellow called Corot around 1830. He was the most famous landscape painter in France. He died in 1875.
And is the plein air art form very popular still nowadays?
Not at all, no. It's gone. They're all abstract now. There are two people that are pursuing that work and keeping the tradition together. I know two very nice, marvellous men who've done portraits.
And what have we got here?
And landscape.
And what have we got here then, Walter?
That's across the. That's Mr. I can't think of his name. Ferry Point. I think Hunt was his name. There's another one of those across the way, and I'll show you in watercolour. So now here we are, other one. That was done about 4 years ago. Heavy frost up in the garden, the college garden, in the morning, looking that way, with frost and the sun catching here and there.
And that's the parish church then?
That's right. That's right, other houses there. That'd be Oliver Broderick's house. That's a very early one, 1965. When I lived here, and we had a little house for rent up at the back of that. There's 2 cottages. We were one of them. That's my 2 girls. That's Kate over, and that's it. Now there was another boy, but he wasn't there then. So that's the Murrays lived there. Or there, I don't know which.
And where's that again? Was that in
Mulgoggin's Corner?
Yeah, Mulgoggin's Corner.
That's right.
Is it? Okay.
And listen, at those days, there were very few cars. You could stand there and paint all day. The odd car wouldn't upset you, see.
Do you remember when you lived out there, Walter? Do you remember any people that lived out there then when you worked there?
I knew the Dillacors and the Flavins and the big family there, the little shop. You think it's hard to think back that far. You see, I know a lot of people. So, yeah, very friendly people, you see. And that's painted about 12, 15 years. That was also in the snow, you see. Down at Glyn on the very far end of the Shannon. That's the castle of Glyn, owned by who's dead now 3 years, owned by inherited Desmond Fitzgerald, 29th Knight of Glyn. That's Ardmore again there. That's to Ardmore. That's the nuns, I believe, own that. That was belonged to a Mrs. Bowen. That is the lovely yellow house where Mrs. Nugent used to live, the hotel owner. They lived there. I just painted that with the light and the sun, the light and shade.
That seems different for some reason, Walter.
It's more formal with the buildings, you see.
Right.
There's another building one now, you see, from the these are all the garden here. You know, the college garden. Frank Keane kept that beautiful. I went in there and painted. He gave me great help and everything to situate, you know, and it's lovely and quiet. I could paint all day there, look, that one now, and that one, look. It's two different days, but the same lighting, look. That's close up now of these nice flowers. That's from the garden looking at all St. Mary's. That's looking east of the garden. That'd be Mrs. Ward's house, and that'd be Tin's Castle. But I was really interested with the flowers.
Walter, there's quite a collection here, and there's quite a lot of them with paintings of Youghal. Have you fondness for Youghal?
I love Youghal, and that's one of the reasons I'm here at all, showing, because they're not from a foreign part. They're really a lot of foreign paintings at home, you see. Now that would be that's Ferry Point, of course, looking east. That's a lovely house. I don't know who Mr. Bell used to own it. And that's I think looking from the quays. No, that's out in Knockadune, looking north. I think, yeah. It's the close out instant days. That's Ferry Point again, up near the big house. What they call the big house there, with your hotel.
Oh, Monatree.
Yeah. Very quiet painting, kind of minor colours.
And again, that's oil water, is that right?
No, that's watercolour. The same as the place over. And the same as Mr. Hunt's place. Like those flower pots with oil there. Right. Now, there's Ardmore, look.
Okay, go up here, Walter.
Yeah, two little pictures of Ardmore. In the evening, down the beach looking at the hotel. I was after the colour. The colour was important there. That's up high, that's the hotel. That's probably Claude Cloven's house. But I was interested in the colour of the evening and the lovely fuchsia in August, you know. So they were kind of a pair, aren't they?
They're Ardmore.
Yeah, they're two Pastels.
Walter, can you tell me when you mentioned there, when you said, pointed up the lane there, of that was Claude Coburn's house?
Well, I'm just telling you that. Nobody else might know it.
Right.
Unless someone living in Ardmore. I did paintings of that too.
Do you remember Claude?
I do, and I met him. An extraordinary person.
Right.
Yeah, extraordinary man.
Right. Can you tell me about Claude?
He just boil you over, would talk.
Right.
He would, and reminiscences and all his journeys abroad. He was a real kind of literary person. He was a wonderful man to meet. You'd benefit greatly by talking to him. You know, you're talking to somebody with an immense gift and imagination.
Right. He wrote some magnificent books, of course.
So that's a Pastel. There are two Pastels. That's looking across my house out there, Carlton Place, in the evening time. That's up the front strand. There's the big block of flats that shouldn't be there. But I was interested in the colour and the shadows on the wall. So there's little figures there too. You see, hidden away, look. Hidden little figures. You see them? Yeah. I don't use figures much. That's Monatree, and that's the town, and that's probably the dump, and that's the sky. The sky I was in. That's out the front strand, looking east, over to Monatree again. Monatree house will be there. And in the evening.
Walter, can you just explain to me again, please? Would you sketch that out and with a pencil and then paint over that?
No, I do it with a brush.
With a brush.
I draw with a brush. I might do that, look.
Right.
I might do that. and I do that no more.
Right.
To situate my different parts.
Right.
And I walk away then.
Right. Walter, before you show me any more perspectives and collection, you mentioned about Charles Lamb, and he was influential
He was.
to your style of painting. Was there other colleagues in town that, other artists as well that you
Where?
would do? In Youghal, I was thinking in particular with Cormac Meegan. Did you remember?
Cormac was a great friend of mine.
Right,
He was.
right.
He was self-taught.
Right.
Marvellous. He did lovely stained glass in Cork and Killarney. Marvellous. Underrated genius.
Really?
Yeah, definitely was.
You put
I put him very high.
underrated
I
genius,
would.
right.
But Lamb was the first professional painter I ever met who
Right.
did nothing else but paint.
Right.
That was a great job.
Right.
I would go up there on holidays,
Right.
kind of just to see his work.
Right.
I went out painting with him.
But when you started,
That's from the park, looking up that way. In the early afternoon, where the sun, that's all in shadow, and the light is here. The sun will be there, look. Early in the year, May, June.
right. And what's the material in the background then you use?
That one, I love wood.
Right.
I love wood.
Right.
I also like canvas. No, we didn't have one at all.
Would you prefer the wood and the canvas? Or?
Depending.
Right.
Now, I like working to a dark surface. That's the reason about the wood. And I paint my canvas grey before I paint, before I use it. That's down the steps by the lighthouse.
The diving
Very
board.
geometric, you see.
Right.
I just sort all these things out,
Right.
see, and then that's the distance, just very, very faintly. So that's not the feeling I see it. So on the woods.
Was it more landscape you used to do then, or was it?
Entirely.
Right.
I didn't feel very good about but I have a very good portrait of Dominic Collins up in the main church, which I did at the time he was beatified.
Right.
And I don't know where I got the interest to that, but a friend of mine stood for me. Whenever before the fishing stopped, they'd be collecting them in between tides.
And where is that? Where?
That's the very edge of the ferry point.
Oh, the ferry
Looking
point.
back
right.
in Youghal.
Right.
Now, see, Youghal,
And when did you paint that one?
about whenever that, say maybe 18 years ago,
Right.
before they stopped fishing.
Of course, it was great to paint, to see that scene with salmon yawls out the
That's
bay and all
shame I
that.
haven't much more of them. That's the one they called Mossmanny.
Right.
He lives over in Piltown.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it's just that one seems a little bit more unusual than the other landscapes here there, because there's a lot of
There are a lot of people there.
there in that.
I did paintings too down the Mall Strand, but they
Right.
were sold.
Right.
And I did paintings in the Mall Strand of the Kathleen May when I came in.
Okay, well, Walter, thank you for giving me the tour of your lovely
Thank you
exhibition.
for
there.
your help and
And
your kindness. And
hopefully there's
your,
quite a bit of noise in the background, but I think it might add to the atmosphere, just like your paintings. A lot of atmosphere in your paintings.
Thanks for everything. You
Okay.
did great work for me.
Walter, thank you very much indeed.